Welcome to the last but certainly not least, the OUA season previews. This time for the York Lions, and like we had with U of T, a new face, a new era in the program. And this one is with Coach Dexter Janke. So, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. I know training camp is long, but we do appreciate it.
Yes, thank you guys very much for the opportunity to have a conversation with you.
So
And
let's
we
start. Go ahead.
coach,
Sorry.
yeah, sorry, we do this often. We're both so eager to ask questions here, but coach, we know you're getting excited here. You're going into week one, but like Wade mentioned off the top there, new head coach. How are you finding new head coach to the OUA? Not a new coach by any stretch of the means. We know you're coming over with the CJFL experience, but how are you finding that transition into taking over an OUA offense, taking over an OUA school here? Sorry, OUA school is what I meant to say.
Yeah, I'd say I'm very fortunate to have some very experienced, not only coordinators, but positional coaches on staff with me here. So, with that being said, with the experience that they have, there isn't a situation and a solution that they don't have. For myself, it's been great. I would say it's gone as seamless as it can, or I could have hoped for. It's been not necessarily a crash course, but it's happened very quickly. As I guess February 6th was the first day that I was here on campus and had the opportunity to work with the group. So a lot has happened since then, and we're just excited and ready to go.
Now, as your staff kind of came together, obviously you have some experience with the CFL and U Sports yourself in your playing career, but you go and get a guy like Greg Knox as your defensive coordinator, a well-known name in university football. What was that kind of decision like for you, and what has he brought to the coaching room?
hmm Yeah, for myself, understanding that I'm going into this experience and this opportunity, being the youngest head coach in the country, thought it would be the most beneficial opportunity for not only myself but the program to find a well experienced individual, but not only a well experienced, but an individual that's done it at a very high level, but also an individual that understands how to navigate the recruiting processes that are out here in Ontario. It's a lot different, obviously, than the CJFL. It's a lot different than the AUS and a lot different than CanWest. So Greg is done a great job of getting myself and our entire staff up to speed on that. I'd say that from a defensive mind and playbook standpoint, that piece speaks for itself. I don't need to advocate for him there. You guys understand where he stands with that, but I would say all the pieces in the peripheral that is really the strength of having an individual like Coach Knox on board. Everything from the day to day to teaching other coaches to the mentorship aspect with the players. He's done a great job.
In terms of
Now,
in terms of the defensive side of the ball, talking about Greg Knox a little bit here, how have your guys taken to him, the players specifically? Because we know that Coach Knox is a guy that likes to play loose, fast, and go get after the ball. Like, he is a very smart defensive mind. So how are your guys taking after the Knox system here?
Yes, I would say initially it was a lot for them to be able to get up to speed with it. But now that everybody understands the expectations, the standard of it, but also the nuances of it, they love it. As you said, it's a unique defense. Get after people. Everybody has the opportunity to do a bit of something, and it's heavily relied on being on the same page with the individual next to you, which is also sped up the culture piece and the relationship piece of our team as well.
how has the group kind of developed a leadership core while you've been there as the head coach?
Mm-hmm. It's a great question. So essentially, we had a recruiting class of 62 individuals come in this year. I would say the individuals that are still here and returning from the team and the roster last year have been nothing but engaged and excited and very eager. So I would say, from a leadership standpoint, I'd say it's more by a collective rather than individuals. And then again, having such a well-experienced staff, uh, everybody is receiving so much feedback on a daily basis that it's been more of a collective movement than one or two individuals.
Have you guys kind of been, I know, like you just said, the collective feedback piece, have you guys been kind of ebbing and flowing with day-to-day schedules and kind of what you guys are targeting in your practices based off of how your leadership group kind of feels the team is going?
I would say it's been more so the staff that has come together and had the
Mhm.
conversations. At first, like so many other things, it's trial by error, right? And
Yeah.
needed to get a very clear understanding of where our team is. Only at that time can we have the opportunity to build from where we are, right? So at first, it's uh, installing general principles, moving forward with those, focusing on the structures, starting to implement more and more and more, and then getting an understanding of when the group is maybe a bit overwhelmed and we need to take a step back and focus on this or that, right? But again, with us having such a well-versed staff and such an engaged staff, we've had the opportunity to break it up and make sure that nobody is left behind in the learning process.
As you guys kind of went through those live bulletins, seeing what works and what doesn't, how beneficial was you getting to scrimmage and kind of have that joint practice with Waterloo?
It was great. Coach Pretoria and his staff did an amazing job in hosting us there. They have great facilities. It was a great opportunity for our group to get out and compete together. I'd say that one of the commonalities that all of our coaches, what we've communicated is the best part of it that came out is the group has a strong sense of belief with each other, but within the processes that we've been implementing, they see the improvements that they've been able to make in such a short time, and the excitement that they've been able to approach the process with moving forward has been great.
All right. Now, I mean, one of your big markers in your coaching career obviously came with West Shore in the CJ. Uh, how have you kind of brought or the CJ experience up to U Sports? Because it is such a high level of football, and it's usually with more mature athletes. How has that transition kind of been with a recruiting class of 62 individuals?
It's been great, right? Where we did bring in a good group of individuals that I either recruited at some point and they ended up just for their sake, where it made more sense for them to stay home or these other pieces. So, point being, I just have had a general relationship with a lot of the individuals that did come in with this class, uh, bringing in older individuals that are very clear in who they are, very clear what they would like to do with the opportunity, how valuable the opportunity is. The buy-in piece, it doesn't take any level of convincing, right? They understand the opportunity they have not only from a football standpoint to learn from the great coaches that we do have, but also from all the different opportunities that our institute does offer, all compiled with being in the biggest city in Canada, right? So it's been a great experience, and it's been very rewarding to see a lot of these individuals even continue to come into their own. Seeing them at the junior level, now at the U Sport level. So one of the major pieces I would say for myself as a coach, and just from the experience at the CJFL level, is they don't have access to nearly as many resources or nearly as many engaged individuals that are trying to help. And so I'd say that has been a welcomed adjustment for myself.
And as we talk
Uh,
about, the roster that you're constructing a little bit of
Mhm.
a unique situation where you get to kind of take over, wipe the slate clean a little bit, like other schools that we've talked to, where like a Laurier, for example, they know Taylor L. Gersma is going to be one of their guys, or like a Queens Alex Freakin is going to be one of their guys in terms of leadership. You
Mhm.
now taking over this new squad, where I said before, you get to wipe the slate clean a little bit. Who are the guys that as you've come in, that have really stood out as leaders in your mind? Because as you go through this, you do kind of get to pinpoint whether they've been there for 4 years, 1 year, 2 years, whatever it is. Doesn't really matter. You get to kind of pinpoint these guys and be like, okay, you're coming out, you're being a leader by example, a vocal leader, whatever it may be. Who
Mhm.
are the guys that have stood out to you as leaders early on in this training camp process for the York Lions?
Yeah, how are the individuals that I would identify are ones that are doing everything right, and by that I mean communicating, body language, how they approach their teammates, their preparation, effort on the field. On the defensive side, I would say Raekwon Lewis Gibbs. He's a defensive back. He had an injury last year, so he didn't have the opportunity to compete. But he's coming a very focused individual, very receptive to feedback. Um, Brandon Davies Lyons is another one on the defensive line. He was an individual that competed at East West this year. Again, another individual from the moment that I stepped foot here on campus has been very engaged, always looking at how can I do more? How can I do more? What do you think? Where do we need to get better? On the offensive side of the ball, Avante McCoy, another individual that was at East West, another individual that is so eager to learn and so eager to do it the right way, and to receive feedback, and to be coached. And then would round it off with an individual that's a lot more reserved and quiet. But Evan Ansu, who's returned from the Edmonton Elks as he was drafted this past year, just shows up, gets work done. He's a very angry individual, which you want on the offensive line, right? But he's been great dealing with him one-on-one, having conversations, having him open up. Yeah, we have a good group in those individuals. Like I said, have been very engaged and are very eager to be part of the group that has the opportunity to reshape and reframe the experience here at York.
You mentioned Avante McCoy. We can't kind of just one off that name. With such a talented playmaker, how do you guys as an offense kind of craft different ways to work him in, or use him to open up other guys?
Yeah, for sure. And without saying too much, as we'd like to utilize
Yeah. Of
the
course.
opportunity of
Of
having a new
course.
coordinator, right? But no, I'd say like Avante is just an individual you just want to get into space, right? Whether that's with handoffs, whether that's as a vertical threat in the intermediate game, the quick game, right? Like at any point, he can be a threat for you, special teams. But again, like Avante, yes, athletically, those are the pieces that stand out. But the thing that really does make Avante special is his character, and the way that he communicates with his coaches, his preparation, how eager he is to be coached. That's what to me makes him a very special individual.
Now, we have talked about the knock system, and I know you just kind of said, like, I don't want to give away too much as a new offense. What is kind of the outlook for that side of the ball this season?
Yes, Rick Walters is the individuals that we had the opportunity to bring in from University of Alberta. He was a major staple in that program, and being part of the build there at the University of Alberta. Yeah, I'd say it's kind of one of the adjustments for our group right now. It's very similar to Greg's on the defensive side, where it's unique. You get so many different motions, you get so many different sets, so it's difficult to really be able to get a hone on it, right? There's so many different rule breakers. So it's been for myself, it's been great to have an opportunity to sit back and observe and see how they're going at it on a daily basis. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting offense to watch.
Awesome.
And we're approaching week one in the OUA. For you guys, no week one matchup, as you do have that week one bye. Wade and I have both been, players on the week one bye going into the season. I mean, I know him and I were probably both rearing to go, super excited to get the season started. Maybe cursing that week one bye a little bit, but how do you kind of tell your team here, yeah, we don't get to play this week, but this is a positive thing for us? Like, how do you kind of spin that we don't get to play into a positive experience for you guys? Because it's an extra week of preparation, it's an extra week of getting ready, and as excited as everybody is for the season to start, it does give you the added advantage of kind of having some time to take a breath. The season has started, but we still get that extra week to prepare.
Yeah, for sure. And the conversation has been entirely geared around just focusing on our preparation, right? We had a unique situation where both of our coordinators, even myself being hired a bit later in the process, where didn't have the opportunity for our coordinators to be part of the spring camp. So with that being said, having an additional week to prepare with a new group, new roster, new coaching staff, we're not going to be upset by that by any means. And we've just framed it in a way where it's an extended training camp. Yes, I'd say everybody is over showing up every day and going against their brother and their opponent. They're rather seeing a new opponent, right? So we're just going to continue to focus on the preparation and making sure that we're all on the same page, and look forward to the opportunity to go against somebody else.
Now, you mentioned kind of going against your brothers. Obviously, new coaches come in and they want to help craft a new culture in that area. How have you been able to kind of let your guys be who they are and form that bond in the locker room?
Yeah, it's a really good question, right? And one of the biggest pieces and most consistent things I've talked about my experience here and in coming here is by no means with this group has it been a losing culture, and by that it's not a toxic culture by any means. So that made it a lot easier for me to develop the buy-in, or even just present ideas and structures and how we can effectively approach this together as a staff and a group, and understand that we all have the collective goal of getting better together. And ultimately, they have an understanding that genuinely I just want to see them succeed in this environment, in this situation. So anything that we're asking of them is for the benefit of the program, but most importantly, the benefit of themselves and the development of them as people as well. So it's been great. Like I said from the start, it's been a very engaged group. So yeah, nothing but positive to say there.
All right. Well, I think Connor, if you've got anything else to ask, I think I'm good. I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to meet with you, Coach, and
Absolutely.
kind of see your vision. And without spoiling too much on the start of the season, we are really excited to see the York Lions and see their growth under you and your leadership.
Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate the opportunity.
All right, there it goes. York Lions coach Dexter Janke ready to kick off his first season with the Lions.